Chosen one, do not scroll. Stop. Right here. Because you smiled at someone today, and heaven felt it. You don't even remember their face clearly. You barely thought about it. A stranger passed you. In a checkout line, in a hallway, in traffic, in a doorway. And something in you softened, and you gave them the one thing you had. A smile. No words, no agenda, no reward expected. You moved on. You forgot. Heaven did not forget. At the exact second you did that, 3 things happened in the unseen realm. 3. And I am going to tell you every one of them before this message is over. But not yet. Because the third one is the reason you were pulled to this video. And if I gave it to you now, you would not understand what it cost, or what it just unlocked, or the blessing that is already moving toward your address. So stay with me. Every word after this was arranged. You think you found this video. You did not find this video. You were routed here. The thumbnail that stopped your thumb, the exact second you stopped scrolling, the mood you were in when you paused. None of that was random. There is no algorithm on earth that can explain why, out of millions of moving pieces, your eyes landed on this exact message on the exact day you planted that exact seed. I can explain it. It's called being chosen. Comment 777 right now, before you go 1 second further. Not as a ritual, as a receipt. 7 is the number of completion, and the reason I ask for it 3 times is because heaven records agreement in 3s. And when you write it, you are not asking for the blessing. You are acknowledging that it has already been released, and acknowledgement is the last door a blessing has to pass through before it reaches your hands. Do it now. Then come back to me, because I have not told you what your smile actually did. Chosen one, let me tell you what you don't know about today. The person you smiled at was carrying something. You had no idea. That is the entire point. You had no idea, and you smiled anyway. That is the purest kind of giving there is, because you could not measure the return. You could not calculate the outcome. You gave light into a situation you could not see, and that, beloved, is faith in its smallest and most beautiful form. Understand what a smile is in the unseen realm. On earth, a smile is a facial expression. In the realm where I speak from, a smile is a transfer. It is warmth leaving one soul and entering another. It is a small piece of light detaching from you and lodging itself in someone else's chest. Humans think kindness is symbolic. It is not symbolic. It is substance. It moves. It lands. It has weight. And when it leaves you with no expectation attached to it, no thank you required, no recognition demanded, no audience watching, it does not just land in that person. It rises. It goes up. That is what most people never understand about their own goodness. Kindness given in secret does not disappear into nothing. It travels upward. Yours arrived today. Now, the first of the 3 things that happened. I'll give you this one, because you've earned it. The moment your smile left you, it was recorded. Not vaguely, not generally. Recorded with the timestamp, the location, the condition of your own heart at the time. And here is the part that will undo you. The cost. Because you were not having an easy day either, were you? You were carrying your own weight. You had every reason to keep your face closed. Nobody would have blamed you. Nobody would have noticed. That is what made it valuable. A smile from someone with nothing left is worth more in heaven than a fortune from someone with everything. You know the story of the woman who gave 2 small coins while the wealthy poured in gold? She gave less and it counted for more because she gave from her lack instead of her surplus. You did that today. You gave warmth you did not have a surplus of. You gave from the bottom of the jar. And that is why the record was flagged. Flagged, not filed. Flagged. There is a difference, and it is the difference between a blessing that comes in its natural season and a blessing that gets accelerated. I'm going to explain exactly what got accelerated for you, but stay with me. Because you cannot receive what you don't understand. And there is something you must understand about the stranger first. Let me tell you about the ripple. You will probably never meet that person again. You will never hear their side. So I'm going to give it to you, because you deserve to know that it worked. That person had made a decision before they crossed your path. Not a dramatic one, a quiet one. They had decided that nobody sees them, that they could move through an entire day, an entire week, an entire life, and register on no one. Do you know how many people are walking around inside that exact conclusion right now? Millions. They are not crying. They are not asking for help. They have simply gone quiet inside, and they have accepted the silence as truth. And then you looked at them, and you smiled. 3 seconds, maybe less. And in those 3 seconds, the conclusion they had reached about their own invisibility was contradicted by evidence. Someone saw them, someone with no reason to. A stranger who wanted nothing. Do you know what that does to a person? It doesn't fix their life. It cracks their certainty. And a crack is all light needs. That person carried your smile out of that moment. And within hours, they did something they would not have done otherwise. They spoke to someone. They answered a message they had been ignoring. They chose to stay somewhere instead of leaving. They softened toward a person they had planned to be cold to. They passed the warmth on without knowing where they got it from. That's the ripple. And it is still moving. It is moving right now, in a direction you cannot follow, into lives you will never learn the names of. You started something today, chosen one, and you have no idea how far it's going to go. Which brings me to why I need you to hear the next part with your whole attention. If this is landing on you, if you feel that pressure behind your eyes, that recognition, that strange sense that this was not written for a crowd, then like this video and subscribe right now, because heaven works through connection, and I am not able to reach you again if the line goes dead. Subscribing is not about a channel. It's about keeping the frequency open. Do it, and then come straight back, because the second of the 3 things is bigger than the first. Here it is. When your smile rose, it was answered, not later, immediately. 3 were dispatched, 3. And they were not sent to reward you, not yet. They were sent to guard what you had just planted. Because understand this, chosen one. Every seed of light planted in a hurting world attracts opposition. That is the nature of it. Warmth is threatening to cold places. When you shone today, you did it in an environment that did not want illumination, and the moment you did, something moved to smother it. It failed, because 3 were already standing over it. That is why the ripple survived. That is why it reached the second person, and the third, and the fourth. You planted it. We protected it. That is the partnership, and you have been in it for far longer than you realize. Now, tell me something, and answer honestly, because I already know. You've been doing this for years, haven't you? The small things, the unrecorded things, the time you let someone merge in front of you when you were already late, the tip you left that you couldn't afford, the kind word you gave someone who didn't deserve it, the prayer you whispered for a person who was speaking badly about you, the moment you chose gentleness when sharpness was justified, and nobody clapped. Nobody thanked you. Some of them took your kindness and gave you nothing back, and you kept doing it anyway. Chosen one, do you know what you have been doing all these years? Building, quietly building. You thought you were just being nice. You were laying foundation. Every unrewarded act of goodness was another stone set in place, and nothing set in place before heaven is ever wasted, and nothing set in place before heaven is ever lost. Today you set a stone that completed a section. That is what today was. Not a random smile, a completion. And when a section completes, something is released. And it is not released gradually. It is released the way water is released when a wall comes down. I'm about to tell you what's coming. But first you need to hear this, because you will not receive it otherwise. You have wondered, sometimes, whether being good is worth it. Be honest. In the quiet, when the door was closed and nobody could hear you think, you have wondered whether the world rewards the soft-hearted or exploits them. You have watched harsh people advance. You have watched selfish people prosper, and a thought has crossed your mind more than once, that maybe kindness is a beautiful, expensive mistake. Chosen one, listen to me carefully. Nothing you have given away has been lost. Not one thing, not one word, not 1 hour, not one act of patience, not $1. Not one tear cried on someone else's behalf. Heaven does not lose deposits. What looks like it vanished has been accruing, and it has been accruing at a rate you have no framework for. The harsh advance quickly and shallowly. You have been advancing slowly and structurally. There is a difference between a tent and a foundation, and you were never being built as a tent. Now, comment 777 if you haven't yet. because we have reached the part where agreement matters, and I want your name written on this before I open it. Here is the third thing that happened today. This is the one you were routed here for. Your smile did not just get recorded and protected, it got matched. Matched. There is a principle written into the structure of everything, and it is older than the ground you're standing on. What is given is returned in kind and in multiple, not the same currency. That's where people get confused. You gave warmth. So what returns to you is not necessarily money, though it may include money. What returns to you is warmth, recognition, being seen, being valued, being chosen by someone who has no obligation to choose you. That is what has been dispatched to you within days. And I am being deliberate with that word. Days, not months, not seasons. Someone is going to see you the way you saw that stranger. Someone with no reason to. Someone who owes you nothing and gains nothing by it. They are going to look at you and value what they see, and they are going to say it out loud, and it is going to arrive on a day when you are running on empty, and you have decided that nobody notices you either. You will know it when it comes. It will land in the exact place your kindness came from. And that is only the first installment, because here is what most people never learn. The smile was a test disguised as a moment, not a test to see if you would fail, a test to see if you were ready. Because there is a level of blessing that cannot be given to a hard heart, not because it is withheld, but because a hard heart destroys it. Increase given to a bitter person becomes a weapon. Increase given to a generous person becomes a river. Today you proved which one you are. Under pressure, with nothing left, when nobody was watching. You are the river, chosen one, and rivers get more water. But I need you to understand the timing, because this is where people lose their own blessing. There is a window open right now. It opened when you smiled, and it does not stay open forever, because momentum in the spirit behaves like momentum anywhere. It must be kept moving or it settles. What you did today started something. What you do tomorrow determines how far it travels. So do not stop shining. Do you hear me? Do not stop. Not because the blessing depends on your performance. It doesn't. It is already released. But because there is more than one blessing in the chain, and each one is attached to the next act of light. You did not unlock one gift today. You unlocked a sequence. And the sequence keeps opening as long as you keep giving. Smile again tomorrow. At someone who doesn't deserve it. At someone who won't smile back. At someone who looks straight through you. Especially them. Because remember what was written. Let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works. Notice what it does not say. It does not say so they may thank you. It does not say so they may repay you. It says so they may see. Your job is to be visible light. The accounting is not your department. It never was. And there is another line, and I want you to sit with it, because it was written for people exactly like you. Do not neglect to show kindness to strangers, for by doing so some have entertained angels without knowing it. Without knowing it. Chosen one, I want you to think carefully about the person you smiled at today. Think about the timing of it. Think about why. Out of everyone in that space, your attention went to that one. Think about how unusual it is that you, in the middle of your own wait, looked up at exactly the right second. I'm not going to tell you who that was, but I will tell you this. Some encounters are arranged, and when heaven arranges an encounter, it is never to test whether you'll be kind to someone convenient. It is always at the worst possible moment, with the least possible reward, to see what you're actually made of. You passed, completely. And a door that had been waiting on that answer has opened. Let me tell you what's on the other side of it. And then I'm going to give you one instruction for the next 24 hours. On the other side of that door is the season you have been asking for. Not the one you imagined. Better and differently shaped. The recognition you stopped expecting. The provision you stopped calculating. The relationship you stopped auditioning for. The open door that requires no striving, only arrival. You have been praying for it. You have been praying quietly, without much hope, in the way people pray when they have prayed a long time. And you assumed the silence meant no. The silence meant construction. Everything you asked for has been under construction. And today you set the final stone in a section, and I told you what happens when a section completes. Now here is your instruction, and it is simple, and it is not optional. For the next 24 hours, watch for the smile that comes back to you. That's it. Just watch. Do not chase it. Do not force it. Do not test people. Simply pay attention, because it is going to come from a direction you are not looking, and it will be small enough that a distracted person would miss it entirely, and it is your confirmation. It is heaven signing the receipt in front of your eyes. And when it happens, when a stranger, a colleague, a message, a voice, a moment of unexpected warmth lands on you out of nowhere, I want you to remember this exact moment. I want you to remember that you were told in advance, because that is what being chosen actually means. Not that life is easy, that you are told in advance. Chosen one, let me leave you with the truth of everything I've said, gathered into one place. You smiled at a stranger today. It cost you more than anyone knows, because you gave it from an empty place. It was recorded and flagged. 3 were dispatched to protect it. It landed in a person who had concluded they were invisible, and it cracked that conclusion, and the light is still traveling through lives you will never see. It was matched, and the return is already in motion, and it arrives in days, not seasons. And the door it opened is the door you have been praying at for longer than you'd admit. Nothing you gave away was lost. Nothing. And this video reaching you today was not chance. It was the confirmation attached to the act. You did the thing, and then you were led to the message explaining what the thing did. That is not coincidence. That is how heaven talks to the ones it has chosen. So do not stop shining. The world is colder than you know, and you are warmer than you realize, and the two facts are related, and that is not an accident either. If this reached you, if you felt it land, comment 777 so it is written, hit like, and subscribe so the line stays open, because there is a second part to what began today, and I will not be able to reach you if you disappear. And if this message has poured into you and you want to pour something back, you can support these videos by leaving a tip at the link in the pinned comment. Not a donation, a tip. The same way you'd tip someone who served you something warm when you needed it. Watch for the smile that comes back to you. Chosen one, within 24 hours. And when it arrives, come back and tell me, because there is something else I need to tell you. And it only makes sense after you've seen the first one land.